I slept in a little bit today to catch up on my rest, and the dogs have had all they can take. You ready to go downstairs? All right, let's go. Now, I'm not ready to go outside yet, but I'm downstairs. That's the first phase. We've moved to the next phase, waiting for Papaw to finish his breakfast. They're patiently waiting. Gotta go get gas for the lawn tractor. With all the rain we've had lately, the grass is growing faster than I can keep it cut. I needed to get the yard mowed today. We're out of gas, so I figured, well, we'll appease the dogs with a little trip down to the gas station. They never take their eyes off of me. These two four-legged turd barrels don't care what they're doing as long as they're with me. They can ride in a tractor, they'll ride the lawn tractor, they'll ride in a skid loader, the dump truck, the pickup truck, it don't matter. As long as they're with their Papaw, they don't care. All right. Oh my God. Oh. Once I got the grass cut, they got a few minutes with the Frisbee with Papaw. Bring it here. Bring it here all the way. Ready? Once I got done with the dogs and cutting the grass, I noticed Tommy was out in the garage working on his Blazer. So I figured I better go check on him. What you working on, Tigger Bear?
Trying to get this radiator out. Trying to drain the water, but I can't get this plug out.
There you go, Tigger Bear. You're draining.
I'd rather be working on my C10.
I would too. It makes me happy to hear that Tommy's learning his life lessons. I know the little Blazer looked a lot nicer and seemed a lot better deal at the time than working on that old Chevy pickup truck. Making progress. But after a few months of driving this plastic Blazer,
How you like working on the Blazer?
I think he's ready to get back on that C10 pickup.
I'd rather work on my C10 twice.
Now do you see why the old man likes the old stuff? In other news, Kenny showed up today and he's working on the trailer.
We've got a little bit of progress going on.
All right, Kenny. It's time for your inspection. The boss is out here. She says you're making progress.
Getting there.
That's gonna be awesome.
Are you happy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kenny, that's gonna be nice, man.
It's all done.
Oh, yeah. You doing the bathroom too?
It's all getting done.
Nice. It'll all match. Have you got enough material to do it all?
I hope so.
We'll find out. I was looking at different futons we could get.
Do we have to call it a futon?
Okay, we'll call it the camper couch.
That's better. The camper
The
couch.
camper couch. For some reason,
Sounds a
you
lot
have
like
an
casting
issue with
couch.
the word futon.
I don't like
That's
futon.
It just means it's a couch that folds into a bed.
Well, now the camper couch,
Folds into a bed.
that's got a ring to it.
I will never call it a futon again.
Camper couch.
Camper couch.
Got it. We're awfully fortunate to have Kenny as a good friend. Kenny's become Vicky's personal handyman, which is fine by me because I'm not worth a damn at carpentry. You put a carburetor in front of me, I'm good to go. Small block Chevy, no problem. You ask me to cut wood and nail nails, I ain't worth a damn. About that time, Billy shows up with a new set of rims and tires for his shit wagon. He found these things on Facebook Marketplace. He had a bent rim and one tire losing air. Had been sitting in the driveway with flat tires for 2 or 3 days. So he picked up these factory 20s and put them on the truck.
We got the new radiator in, and it took me forever to get one of the lower transmission cooler lines off. It was all corroded. I got it off, and then I lost one of the little W clips.
Uh-oh.
So I'm gonna have to go get one.
You better go down and see Mark at A1. Dooley's sitting over there if you want to use it. Poor old Tigger. He was pretty disheartened working on that Blazer today. He finally got it though. While Tommy went to go get parts, Billy and I cleaned up his used wheels and tires and took them away out back. As much as I hate to see Tommy struggle, it's just one of those things in life that kids need to learn their lessons. If I fixed everything for the kids and did everything for them that they needed, they'd never learn anything. And the problem is I'm not always going to be here to help them anyway. So it's important that they learn how to do for themselves.
I should be in there cooking dinner and I'm stuck out here. I'm gonna make her run for it.
Run, squirrel. Got done eating dinner here a while ago and took a little nap. My sleep schedule's all screwed up. I'm in serious trouble here. This weekend we were at Dragway 42 for the rewind, and I was helping CJ Buckner with a Mustang, and Billy was helping another guy with a Chevelle, and Wesley Skinner. And Wesley ended up winning big tire, and CJ ended up runner-up in small tire to Sean Fensler. So we were at Dragway 42, didn't get home till 3 o'clock in the morning. And then we got up Sunday, and of course you saw the video, we went on that cruise. So I'm pretty well tuckered out. I don't know how Vicky's doing it and Billy's doing it, but once I get tired, I shut down for a few hours. And unfortunately, it's put me behind the 8 ball now, because now I think it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm wide awake, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed out here in the shop because I got to get a video done. But most importantly, I've got work I need to get done. So tonight we're out here taking apart this small block Chevy we're going to put in the Nova. Now the first thing we need to get done is we got to get all these head studs pulled out of the block. And I've been dreading this. Unfortunately, stock block, small block Chevys don't have blind head bolt holes like the dart blocks and the aftermarket blocks do. And what that means is the head studs or the head bolts are threaded right into the water jacket in the block. So in a stock block, you have to use thread sealer on the head bolts or the head studs to keep those from leaking coolant. So I have to pull all these head studs out, and they're not going to come out very easily. I like to use this style of ARP head stud. You can use an Allen wrench to turn them out of the block, but the ones in the built to the max small block, well, they're not quite built to the max. Now, if you want to reuse your head studs, if you've got them, you can double nut each stud, tighten the nuts up against each other, and then back them out with an impact. But if you're not worried about reusing them like I am, I just use a pair of vice grips to twist them out of the block. Once I got all the head studs removed, it was time to flip it over and remove the oil pump so we could start pulling the pistons and rods out of the block to check the rod journals and the rod bearings. Now what I generally do is just back the rod bolts out a little bit with an impact and then tap on them gently with a hammer to separate the connecting rod from the cap. This bearing didn't look too bad. This was out of number 1 cylinder. Connecting rod didn't look too bad. Piston's got some wear to it. Nothing too serious, just looks like it's been run with some dirty oil in it for a little while. No big deal. Now we'll spin the crank over, start on the next pair of rods. This will be number 3 and number 4. So here we've got number 3 and 4 connecting rod and piston removed, and the rod journal looks just the same as the first one. Start on the next pair. remove each rod and piston, I set them in this clean cardboard box to keep them in order. Now this is number 6 rod journal, and it looked like it had a little something go through it. Both halves of the rod bearing look the same. No big deal, but it's definitely had something go through it. The rod bearing right next to that one didn't look too hot either. No big deal, we're not going to reuse these bearings anyway. Next, we start pulling main caps to check the main bearings. Now, before you start pulling main caps, you want to make sure that the caps are numbered. Now, these main caps are already numbered, but if they're not, my dad always taught me just take a hammer and a punch and to put 1, 2, 3, or 4 dimples in the main caps. Now, we've got all the main cap nuts removed. We just take a hammer, tap on the side of the cap, and they'll come right off. So luckily we didn't find any surprises tonight in the built to the max 355. All the main and rod bearings look pretty decent. We only had one rod bearing that had a little piece of trash go through it, but there's no scoring on the crankshaft. It can be polished. All the connecting rods look fine. I don't see any damage to this engine whatsoever. Just a little bit of wear to the cylinder walls, and a little bit of wear to the piston skirts, which I'm not really worried about the piston skirts because we're not going to reuse those. However, we will need to have Bob check the cylinder walls to see how much wear is in them. We may have to go 10 over and go to a 40 over piston. We won't know until I take it up to Uncle Bob and he checks it. And speaking of checking on things, check your bearings. These are both marked standard. The main and the rods are marked STD. That doesn't mean sexually transmitted diseases, guys. That means that the crankshaft, rod, and main bearings are both standard. Now, the mains can be 10, 20, 30 under, so can the rods, and they don't necessarily have to be the same. You can have 10 under mains and standard rod bearings or any combination thereof. That's going to do it for tonight, guys. I'm getting pretty tired again, and we got a little problem here with this crank pulley. I don't have the correct puller to remove this crank pulley. And so I can't get the crank pulley off. That means I can't get the timing chain cover off. I did get the belt drive off of it, but I can't get this front cover off. And if I can't get the front cover off, then I can't lift the crankshaft up out of the block. So what I intend to do is go ahead and put this thing in the cradle. Tomorrow we'll take it up to Uncle Bob's, hopefully tomorrow, and we'll have Uncle Bob help me pull this, this crank pulley off the crankshaft. So I just want to thank everybody for watching the videos and the comments, and geez, man, I don't know. I can't even hardly believe some of the messages and the comments and things are just pretty incredible. I almost feel like I've become a lot of people's adopted uncle or dad or grandpa or whatever. And that's fine. But, you know, I just want everybody to know that I really appreciate all the nice comments and things. You guys supporting my family, and we're just trying to give back to the community that's been good to us, trying to help some young people. There's just, I can't even answer all the messages. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of messages of all different types. There's people that are sick, that are in the hospital right now fighting cancer or other ailments that look forward to these videos every day. And guys, when I started this, I really had no idea that my family would have this kind of an impact or an effect on so many people. But the good Lord's given me a platform, and He's making it possible for me to do this daily. If things keep up the way they are, I'm probably going to retire from excavating. I'd much rather be doing this every day. So I can't thank everybody enough, honestly. It's been a huge weight lifted off me and my wife and my entire family to have me here every day, working in the shop and helping the kids, because, you know, up until this point, I was still excavating every day, and I was, you know, you get up in the morning and you work all day, and by the time you get home, you're tired, you're muddy, and you just don't feel like working on race cars sometimes, but we always just plowed through it. And it's got to the point now where I'm basically staying home and working on race cars and engines and helping my kids every day. And this channel is making that possible. So thank you all so much. God bless you all. Good night.